I got the best question after a keynote yesterday. I was talking about the importance of having productive conflict, making sure that your decisions are optimized because there's lots of tension in the deliberation process. And someone put up their hand and said, but when should I stop beating my head against a wall if it's not working, if I'm not convincing anybody? Great question. Well, the answer is at the point at which the decision is made. That really depends on whether you're the person who owns the decision or not. So let's imagine you're the person who owns the decision and you've been trying to convince everybody else that, no, this is the way we're going to go and this is the right way. You're kind of driving toward consensus instead of owning the decision. If you are trying to convince other people and it's not working, well, it's not your obligation as the decision maker to get to the point where everyone agrees. So stop beating your head against the wall and instead say, okay, I have heard you. Here's how I've integrated your thoughts into my decision. Here's how I'm mitigating the risks that you mentioned. But this is the decision and I'm going forward. And I'd like everybody's commitment. On the other hand, if you're not the decision owner, but you're somebody who's just a party to it, contributing to the deliberations, it's the same point. The point at which the decision owner is clear and is ready to put the stake in the ground and actually make the decision. And in that case, you might not be happy with that decision. You might feel like, oh, let me try one more time. Let me go to the water cooler and badmouth that decision. No, don't do it. And don't keep trying to fight for your way of doing things after the decision is made. It slows everything down, just makes everything less effective, but it's also really damaging to your reputation. So you want to stop. So it's pretty clear. You go ahead, you do what you can to make a compelling case, to try and convince and influence people who feel differently than you all the way through that deliberation process. Productive conflict makes that process better, makes your decision better. But the minute that the decision owner is ready to make the call, that's the point at which conflict should stop. Then you enter into a phase where it's not about tension, it's not about beating your head against the wall, it's about pounding the pavement. It's about making that plan as successful as you possibly can. And sure, there's a third phase where maybe you can bring up your dissent again when you open up evaluation. But for the most part, the key hard line in the sand is the difference between the deliberation process and the implementation phase. That's the point at which we all stop beating our heads against the wall and we move forward with the action that the decision maker thinks is right. After all, they're the one who has accountability for the decision. All right, what an amazing question, and hope that was a helpful way of thinking about it.